Māori activist Mike Smith is celebrating a big win in his legal battle against some of the country's biggest polluters.
The Ngāpuhi and Ngāti Kahu elder has been fighting for years against what he calls the polluting seven, including Fonterra, Z Energy and Genesis.
And as William Tiriti reports, the Supreme Court has today ruled the case can go to court.
It was a Supreme Court ruling that few were expecting.
This court has unanimously allowed Mr Smith's appeal and reinstated his statement of claim.
That gives Māori activist Mike Smith the right to sue 7 of our biggest companies for contributing to climate change.
Mr Smith's claim should be allowed to proceed to trial rather than being struck out preemptively.
Smith was convicted in 1994 for trying to chop down the lone pine on One Tree Hill in an act of protest over treaty rights. These days, he's the one using the law to stop what he sees as wrongdoing. Today's ruling, a vindication.
You know, as can be expected, we're pretty excited and grateful.
Grateful because the case had been thrown out by the Court of Appeal on the basis there was no reasonable argument that could be made.
The Supreme Court has found in our favour, so obviously there's merit in the argument. So we look forward to getting the top 7 New Zealand polluters in court. Together, they create around a third of New Zealand's carbon emissions. And they've got to get on the right side of history. I wouldn't like to have a company that's going to go down as being a climate denial company.
The leading law professor says the Supreme Court decision was a surprise.
Very few people would have thought that they would have won this case when it was first filed in 2019. I myself said they had absolutely no chance of winning this case.
Greenpeace says it puts other polluters on notice.
It means that big climate polluters in Aotearoa, New Zealand now know that they may be taken to court and will have to justify either whether they cause harm or not.
Fonterra, Genesis Energy and Z Energy declined our interview requests but issued statements expressing their disappointment in the ruling. They all argue they're committed to meeting their climate change obligations and are making good progress. Smith's vowing to keep up his fight until the companies are forced to reduce or cease their emissions.
Well, I guess the ultimate aim is to save our mokopuna, you know, because it's not abstract anymore, climate change. We're starting to feel it every day.
The case is now expected to go to the High Court for a full hearing. William Tiriti, Newshub.